5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it.
All right, I'm going to do a little 5 count. Just a quick one because I haven't got time to do an extensive video today. I'm pissed off, but you know what I mean? I just haven't got the time. So this is a quick 5 count. It's going to be entitled Bad Corner Work. Yeah? So I'm just going to go through 5 instances where my judgmental ass has not been impressed by the response of some cornermen and seconds in their attempts to aid their struggling fighters. So we start with number 1. So I'm going to start with Lennox Lewis against Oliver McCall. I already touched this in the last video, so I'm not going to go too hard on it. His chief man in charge in his corner was Pepe Correa. After a relatively even first round, which Lennox may be shaded, he told Lennox to go out there and knock the bum out. And if he'd done any research into the fight, he would have realized that Oliver McCall was not a bum. Which gave the durable and powerful McCall, who was fighting out of a crouch, the opportunity to land a devastating right hook and take Lennox's WBC heavyweight title. Number 2 is Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas surprised everybody. He didn't surprise me so much because I saw the guy fight against Tony Tucker. That's a guy who Tyson beat. And he gave Tucker a really good fight until his bad conditioning let him down. He had a very powerful jab. Before the Tyson fight, I actually see him knock this guy down. A big brolic guy. I think his name was Mike Williams. Tough guy, Tyson's sparring partner. He knocked him down with jabs about 4 different times. But they weren't no ordinary jabs. You could see the effect that the jabs had on the guy. So when he started laying the jab on Tyson, and Tyson didn't train properly for the fight, and it wasn't a shock. Tyson had this guy named Jay Bright. Apparently Jay Bright was a Customato student, so he should have known better. Like Tyson was taking a beating in there. He was taking a beating. His eyes started to swell up. So you're supposed to have an end swell to deal with swelling. See, there's standard equipment, you know. They didn't have an end swell. And there was a lot of other instances, but I remember the end swell the most. The guy comes out with this balloon, I don't know, some bag with cold water in it, trying to reduce the swelling in Tyson's eye. It was a shambles, fucking disgrace. You know what I mean? And to add to that, they didn't have no presence in the corner at all, you know. It was like they were shell-shocked themselves more than Tyson, you know. And Kevin Rooney might not win Coach of the Decade or whenever, but if his presence was ever needed in a fight, it was in Tokyo that night there. And if you don't know the result of that fight, you need to buy yourself a basic book of of boxing results, you know what I mean? Go to BoxRec, you know what I mean? Don't ask me the result of fights like that. At number 3, we have Andre Berto when he lost to Victor Ortiz. I watched a delayed recording of the fight, and when I was watching it, I saw his dad talking to him, and then his brother from outside the ring was talking to him at the same time. And it was just incoherent babble. And don't get me wrong, I believe fighters, once they're in the ring, yeah, you need the corner's advice. But, you know what I mean, like Mobb Deep said, you're all alone in these streets, cousin. You know what I mean? But it has to be said, with so much at stake, that should never have happened. Shambles. And neither the dad or the brother, neither one of them had the sense to think, maybe I should stop talking. Maybe one of us should shut the fuck up. Or at the least, one person talk at a time. And run a coherent, competent corner. But that didn't happen, and Berto lost his crown that night to Victor Ortiz. At number 4, I'm going to put Ann Wolfe in there. And it's not so much for her incompetence during the fight. It's her loyalty and her commitment to a fighter, who was James Kirkland, after the Molina fight, which ended controversially because Kirkland was getting his ass handed to him, you know what I mean, in terms of scoring rounds. He did hurt Molina in the last round, and the fight ended very controversially. They should have just let the fight conclude and see if Kirkland could stop him or if Molina could survive and collect his deserved points victory, but that didn't happen. After the fight, Ann Wolfe goes over to Molina and tells the guy either, oh, you was winning the fight, you was well in charge. And you're thinking, hold on. Kirkland's your fighter. You're not supposed to go over there and say that and let everyone hear it. Even if you thought that, you're supposed to have some kind of code of silence and loyalty to your fighter who's just battled in the ring for 10 rounds or whatever it was, yeah? Putting his heart and soul into it. When you get back to the dressing room, or maybe you give Kirkland a day or so to reflect, let the adrenaline come down, and maybe you meet up or go back to training camp, and then you address it then. But not in front of cameras beaming the fight to the whole world. That's ridiculous. Bad corner work. Bad corner work. Because you're supposed to be a team. If Kirkland's losing, you're losing too. Even though I always say it's all on the boxer, you still are a team. If Kirkland's losing, you're losing. If Kirkland's performing well, some of that's got to go down to you because you're getting paid to train him. So bad corner work. Bad corner work. The official result stands that James Kirkland won by disqualification. And last but not least, at number 5 is Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier. Joe was a great fighter. But his coaching methods, not too sure. When Bonecrusher Smith was fighting Razor Ruddock, Bonecrusher, in the early rounds, I remember him flooring Ruddock. He did floor Ruddock. But for the most part, he was just eating left hooks. Just eating them. Ruddock, a very powerful puncher. James Bonecrusher Smith, powerful puncher. Big, strong man, and he had a good chin. And sometimes having a good chin is not all cracked up to what we sometimes think it is, yeah? Because what that meant, that he was able to take a punch so well, he was just eating left hands. And they were powerful left hands, because when Ruddock punches, he gets the whole of his legs behind the punch. He calls the punch the smash. The smash is a left hook come uppercut. Yeah? It's a punch he developed. He explained the reason why he had to develop the punch. He developed the punch when he was doing some research on his next opponent. And he realized he's going to struggle to hit him with certain punches, so he had to improvise. And that's where the smash came along. Another person who I saw throw the smash, and that was before Razor Ruddock. So, when you say he invented it for himself, he didn't invent the wheel, you know what I mean? Azuma Nelson, he threw a smash punch on Pat Caldell in Birmingham, scoring a first-round knockout, defending his featherweight title. But I digress. Bonecrusher just eating shots. And there was one round, and I was watching it on ITV, which is a British channel, when ITV was about it, and used to cover boxing extensively. And Jim Rosenthal was commentating, and he made a great observation. Because, to be honest, Joe Frazier wasn't Bonecrusher's regular trainer. I think he just had him in for a couple of fights. And this fight was in Bonecrusher's hometown, which is North Carolina, I believe. So, after taking another beating for the round, Bonecrusher plumps down in his stool. And Frazier says, "You want this, son? You want this? You want this? This is your hometown. Deal with him. And he went back out there, and I think in a couple of rounds he got sparked out cold. Like when Ruddock used to finish people off, he used to finish them off spectacularly. And Jim Rosenthal made a great observation. Oh yes, the great Joe Frazier there. But I was not too impressed with the corner work there and the instructions that they're giving Bonecrusher. Because, look, this is your hometown, deal with him. Where is the technical support on how to stop Bonecrusher eating his left hands? There was none. It was just, this is your hometown, deal with him. Dude, you know what I mean? And like in other rounds, wake up, son. But I didn't hear no technical advice like a Manny Stewart would dispense to a fighter who was struggling in a fight. So, yeah, wasn't impressed. Great fighter, not so good a coach. And that's my top 5. I'm going to try and drop some videos throughout the day and tomorrow, but I just haven't got the time to sit down and focus in and do the whole boxing news report. I want to do it, but I have to be in and out and in and out and in and out. You know what I mean? It's one of them ones. You get what I'm saying? So I'll catch you guys later with the next installment of what I'm coming with. I don't know what it will be. We'll see. Peace out.